I got the horse right here. The name.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads. I'm with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Saturday, June 11th races at Hastings, as well as we'll touch on the Belmont Stakes, the third jewel of the Triple Crown. Of course, no Nyquist, but we do have Exaggerator trying to win two legs of it. But we have a lot of local interest with John Gunther's Stradivari in the lineup, so it should be, as usual, a action-packed thoroughbred day.
Belmont Day is always fun. It does take a little wind out of our sails when the Derby winner doesn't win the Preakness, but still a great race, going a mile and a half, and a good card lined up for the races here at Hastings. 7 races on tap. Let's jump right into them. The first is a $4,000 claimant event for fillies and mares, non-winners of 3 lifetime. I've gone to the outside here. I went with Moonride. I know Catch and Fire is going to be on the lead, but I think Moonride can run her down like a Riki Princess did 2 starts ago when Catch and Fire was forwardly placed. Moonride, I just think, is coming into this race well. Kind of a flat 5th in her first start, only got a 34 buyer. Big step forward in her second start, finishing behind a very good Wild Rose of Texas and ahead of Catch and Fire. I just think it's her 3rd start in her cycle. I think she's coming in the race well for trainer Mike Anderson. But Moonride on top, Catch and Fire is the one they're going to have to catch. I got her in second, but I think Moonride will run her down. Those are your 2, I think, in here are Moonride and Catch and Fire. And I threw in Eclair de Lune for 3rd. Leading rider Richard Hamill takes the call for Charlene Miller, coming off a non-2 score.
Yeah, I wanted the 2 Catch and Fire. This horse didn't get away well last time and was taken out of her running style. She's usually out there on the head end, and I just think she's going to get the lead in here. She's going to have a 2-length lead and 23 flat. I think it's a gift, but we'll see. Moonride for sure for second. She had a good runner-up effort last time, and had a good race. But this Catch and Fire, I thought, had a miserable trip.
She did have
and still wasn't beaten much. And I put the 3 Queen of Bonner in for 3rd. She's taking a drop in class and running in those tougher non-2/8s, and she gets in a non-3 for 4 here. I think that'll help her chances. She's not all that bad. I went 2, 5, and 3 in the Saturday opener. On to race number 2, field of 5, or actually field of 6. $16,000 claimers, conditional claimers going 6.5 furlongs. Number 5, Merlot, has to be your horse to beat in here. Good runner-up effort to Prince Hotel, who's really streaking right now and in top form. So I went Merlot to defeat the 6, Perfectly Reckless, who is not at his best distance. He's definitely better going along. We'll see if he can, the easier company will help his chances, because he is dropping in class. His first 2 runs this year were against a pretty salty company, Twist Grips and Crackdown, and Crackdown came out to run second in the stake in the Longdon. So this is an easier assignment for Perfectly Reckless. And I put the 1 Wonder World, always in the mix. Seldom wins, but always on the board. I put him in for 3rd. I went 5, 6, and 1 in the second.
I don't know much to add. I got the same horses. Merlot, as you mentioned, he should be the boss in here. He's your horse to beat. Just couldn't catch a very quick Prince Hotel last time.
Right.
Perfectly Reckless, as you mentioned, dropping down at the tough races. He figures to be in the mix here, and he gets Hamill going from Bug Boy Jose Asenjo to Hamill. Wonder World in for 3rd. I got the same horses. Not much to add there, Mike. 5, 6, and 1 for me in the second. On to the 3rd. First half of a split in the Mares Starter Series. First race of the Starter Series, and this one did split. It does go as the 3rd and the 7th race, and the 3rd got the tough one in it. Pretty Reckless out of the Mike Anderson barn. Ran for $62.50 here this year after being off all of 2015 and dusted a field, and came back to win impressively for 16. She's got to be a horse to beat in there. She looks super tough. I put Rachel Run in the 2nd spot. Just an ultra consistent mare. 8 of 19 win percentage. Very impressive. She does run at the bottom level, so this is a bit of a step up for her, but she's super consistent, so I'm going to throw her in. And in the 3rd spot, I threw in I'm a Diva 2. She's coming out some tough races. Those $16,000 races against closing intentions against Pretty Reckless. Drops in for 8 to get eligible for the Starter Series. So I went 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah, I agree with the 3, Pretty Reckless. Looks like a single, probably the best bet of the day. If she runs back to either of those 2 races, she wins for fun in this race. Rachel Run, you must respect any horse that wins 8 of 19 starts. She's just a filly that knows how to win, a mare that knows how to win races. Pretty comfortable win over CA Miss last time, and I just think she would be the next next best opportunity or the next best choice in here. And I put the 4-horse Wild Rose of Texas in for 3rd. Pretty impressed with the run last time off the pace, but I could have put the 1 I'm a Diva 2, Ruffy Rose or Jazz. They're all the same to me. Pretty Reckless is here. to me, Rachel Run is just that next level, and the other 4 are below that. I went 3, 2, and 4, but it looks like Pretty Reckless is found a very nice spot.
Agreed.
To win another one, to win 3 in a row. On to the 4th race.
Big form here.
This is the male version of the starter series, 8,000 starter series. They're going 6.5 furlongs. I ended up on the 1, Prince Hotel. I've been pretty impressed with the last couple of runs. Wow, this horse won with a lot of energy. Had lots left in the tank last time. Richard was just looking under his arm, waiting for horses to come. I know the fractions weren't fast, but still, this horse finished off in a very swift time. And as I mentioned, could have gone a lot faster. Prince Hotel has turned the corner. He was running for a lot of money throughout his early part of his career. Connections always thought a lot of him. He did not deliver. He's starting to deliver now. He's on a roll, and I think Prince Hotel is going to be pretty dangerous. Put the 9, Lorne 500 in for second. I'd like to switch to Silvino Morales. I think he'll suit this horse very nicely. Silvino seems to ride those off-the-pace horses very well. Twist grips. I go through a lot of Ganby. There's a lot of them that he's ridden where he's weaved his way through the field, big fields, and still been able to, not check. Just even has to wait for room.
Find a spot,
he just hesitates. He doesn't check the horse. He's really a slick rider, Morales.
What I'd like to see too is Morales is a bit more of an aggressive rider. I think that he gets him a little bit more involved in the race early. I think he's a horse you have to get to some interest in the race.
You can't drop 15 out of it, 12 out of it. There's a lot of speed in here. You got everything that's a blur. You got Samilkameen Joey, who's flying out of there. It's going to be a 21 and 4, 22-5 pace. So Lorne 500 will get a contested pace up front. But it's just a matter of him staying, as you mentioned, close enough to the pace because he doesn't have this huge run from out of it. But Lorne 500 is dangerous. And I put the 5, Samilkameen Joey. Do I think that'll be the Triactor 195? Probably not. But I think if you're playing 3 horses and you pick 4s, pick Sea to Sky, pick 6, I think you need those 3. Samilkameen Joey's a horse that can win the race if left alone on the head end. He is, he ran against some pretty salty horses last time. That was not an easy dash he was exiting.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to get company up front, which may hinder his chances of winning, but still, this horse is pretty nice when he can get the lead. And he can go down there in 16 and change, so I'd respect him. I went 195.
I agree. I got Prince Hotel on top. He looks to be very tough in here. I like the fact that Hamill is sticking with him in here as he obviously had a lot of other options. I got Prince Hotel on top. I put Stratify in the second spot. Jim Brown claimed this horse last time. He was only in Nancy Best Barn for 1 start, but he's got back class. That was for 4,000, and he didn't look horribly fit to me that day. He just kind of lumbered down the lane. Jim's worked him 3 times. I think he'll be tighter for this, and he does have a lot of back class to draw on. 2 years ago, he beat his stablemate at the time, Modern, in an optional 45, and Modern is, the best older horse we have around here now. So he does have the back class, and I think Jim will have him a little bit tighter. I put him in the second spot, and I put Citron Kid out of the Phil Hall barn in the third spot. Good 71 buyer last time in an $8,000 race against a few of these like Proxy Man, Every Night's a Blur, and he's got a cool kind of stalking style.
Yeah, he'll get a good pace around
that could suit him well in here. I went 1, 3, and 7 in the fourth.
Craven Sorensen.
That's right. My man Craven Sorensen got Citron Kid. On to the 5th. 3-year-old filly race for 16,000. Nice little field of 8 3-year-old fillies. I went with the 5 Valid Vow. Looked very impressive breaking a maiden for 25 in her second start of the year, and then came back in a very tough optional 25 with Chianti, McDove, Estelado. Very talented fillies, and got beat 8 lengths, but that figures to happen in a race like that. I think she fits nicely into a $16,000 event. Mark Luce having a good year, so is Antonio Reyes. I put her on top of Indy Black. Claimed by Troy Taylor off Jim Brown. The first start was a winning one. Didn't go in rapid time, but she did what she had to do. And I think, that was for 25. 16, I think, fits her well. And I put Baja Storm breaking from the rail with Silviano Morales aboard for trainer Mel Snow. She'll be the one you have to catch. She's probably the speed of the speed in here. I see Valid Vow just sitting just off of her. But she's a nice little filly. It's done nothing wrong so far. 2 starts, 2 wins. I got her in the third spot. 5, 4, and 1.
Yeah, I like Valid Vow. I did pick the 6 Sakura. I think this horse is pretty live in this spot.
Yep.
Did defeat Valid Vow first time out this year. Those 2 were kind of head and head the whole race, and Sakura was best. She hooked into older mares last time, and that was a considerably tougher race. Holly's last call blended. Yeah. She's backing against 3-year-olds, and that's a big thing for Sakura. The post, I'm hoping she doesn't get the old 3 or 4 wide trip because she does have some speed and will be trying for position. Ruben's ridden her great in her first 2 starts, just overmatched last time, but the last start prior to that was a good, a really good race against Valid Val. I thought those were your 2 horses. Put Baja Storm in for third. This horse has done nothing wrong. Perfect 2 for 2. I thought the horse was doomed at the head of the lane last time. Horse kind of was running. I think Chestnut's Goal was just flying at her, and this filly just rebroke, playing possum, and dug in and won with something left. The Baja Storm was pretty impressive, I thought. So you definitely need that one. I went 6-5-1. I know I've left out Indy Black, Chestnut's Gold, all horses that have Oma, all horses that have a chance. But it is a good group here. But I think Sakura and Valid Val are the best. I just thought those were the 2 horses dropping in class, and the 2 that I think you really need. If you had to have 2 horses, I'd go 5 and 6. But I went 6-5-1 in the 5th. On to race number 6, our feature race of the day, the $35,000 optional claimer for fillies and mares, going a mile and a 16th. I went to the 5, Holly's Last Call. I know the distance could be a little bit of a challenge for her, but she's she's just rocking and rolling right now. She's going to get the lead. Richard Hamill, very good at relaxing horses, and Majestic Presence would be obviously the logical pick in here. Probably going to be the favorite, Majestic Presence, and I think the mile and 16th will help her. She's had a couple of sprints here at Hastings in Stakes Company. She gets in against Allowance Company. It's going to help her. I put the One Always Miss in as well. I thought 5, 4, and 1 were your horses in here, but I'm going to try Holly's Last Call. I don't love her. I can see her running out of gas at the head of the lane, and Majestic Presence running by her. But boy, have I been impressed with the turnaround in her. She's looked great.
She has looked great. She's my pick as well. And Spirit to Spare, I went back and looked at her form today. She did win going a mile 16th in Northlands, and ran second here at a stake at Hastings Park.
She could run long.
On June 11th.
On June, there you go.
Back in 2005. Ran second, going a mile 16th behind La Belle Fleur. She's just been super impressive. The mare was known more as a sprinter, but as I mentioned, she did win going long, and Rosberg is going to help her get that distance. And obviously, Richard Hamill does not hurt her chances. Good work back for her since Craig McPherson claimed her in a minute flat on June 4th. She's my top pick. Majestic Presence, obviously. Those are the 2. She's probably, as Mike said, she's probably going to be your favorite here. She's going to be tough to beat. Amadeo Perez takes the call. And I put Susan Stay in the 3rd spot.
I can see that.
Got nothing out of her first race. Scott Williams lost the irons. We should mention Scott Williams retired.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Rode his last race.
It's a sad. It's a good thing. Just a kid that's had to reduce weight, and he's young enough to do something else, and is going to continue to gallop horses, which is good. He's going to continue to be around the track, but just didn't retire. He
was struggling with his weight, so we do wish Scott all the best in his retirement. Former Sovereign Award winner for Apprentice of the Year. So I put Susan, so she got nothing out of that first race, came back with a good 3rd behind Sailing for the Sun and Morning Coffee, some pretty nice fillies. And now I think she moves forward off of that race. So she's another one that will appreciate the distance too. She does want to go longer. So I put her in the 3rd spot for Cameron Hill. 5, 4, and 6 in the 6th. On to the 7th, the nightcap, the other half of the Mares Starter Series. Field of 6 in here. And I went to blended.
Yeah, me too.
Dropped in for 8, non-2, made no mistake, dust in the field, and then came back and a good second behind Holly's Last Call in a time 1:16.4. So she went like 17-2 or 17-3. No shame in that. That could be good enough to win this race. As I mentioned before, Mark Luce having a good meet. I took blended on top of I Dig That. Richard Hamill sticks with her. She's won 2 in a row. She's fast. She could be tough to catch. I put her in the 2nd spot. And Shayla's Rose, who's on a heater, winning 4 in a row, going for 5 in a row for trainer Teddy Hertz. Sahin Savici re-rides. When fillies get good, they can keep winning.
Yep,
and
she's good. Teddy's got her going
great guns right now, so I wouldn't leave her off the ticket. Yeah. Blended's my horse. I Dig That. Shayla's Rose in the 3rd spot. 3, 5, and 4.
Yeah, I agree. I went 3, blended obviously on top. Her 2 races this year have been excellent. She fits nicely in this. This is the easier end of the split. With Pretty Reckless being in the other half. I mean, she ducked Pretty Reckless, which is pretty good. Shayla's Rose and I Dig That were, interchangeable for me. I put Shayla's Rose 2nd, and I Dig That. I went 3, 4, 5, but I do love blended in the 2nd leg of the Champion Starter Series for fillies and mares. We'll do it for our analysis of the Saturday program. Next up on screen will be a quick look at our recap of our selections. Back in race number 1, I went to the 2, Catching Fire, 2, 5, and 1. Race number 2, and I went to the 5, Merlot, over the 6, Pretty Reckless, and the 1, Wonder World. Race number 3, Number 3, Pretty Reckless, looks pretty solid in the first division of the starter series for mares. 3-2-4 for me in the third. Race number 4, number 1, Prince Hotel over the 9, Lauren 500 in the 5, Similkameen Joy. Race number 5, I went to the 6, Sakura. 6-5-1 for me in the 5th. And race number 6, number 5, Holly's Last Call over the 4, Majestic Presence, and the 1, Oli's Miss. And the 7th and final, as we just mentioned, I went 3-4-5. I like Blended to win it.
On to my picks. In the first, I went to the 5, Moonride over the 2 and the 4. Excuse me. In the second, I went to the 5 again, Merlot over the 6 and the 1. In the third, number 3, Pretty Reckless. Mike agrees with me, my best bet of the day. 3-2-1 for me in the third. On to the fourth, number 1, Prince Hotel over the 7 and the 3. In the fifth, I went to the 5, Valid Vow over the 4 and the 1. In the sixth, the feature race, I went to the 5, Holly's Last Call over the 4, Majestic Presence, and the 6, Susan Stay. And in the nightcap, I agree with Mike on number 3, Blended over the 5 and the 4. And there's obviously one more very interesting race on Saturday.
Very important race on Saturday.
Very important race. That is
Belmont Stakes.
Belmont.
Yes.
Field of 13 lined up here.
It is the 148th running.
148th running.
They ran it 6 times before the Derby.
That's right.
It was the
And a mile and a half.
It was the 142nd Derby. I know that because Rod Boulevard was nice enough to
There
go
you
to
are.
the Kentucky Derby, Nyquist Derby, to bring this nice little pullover back.
148th Belmont. I did go to Stradivari, local owner and breeder and regular here at the Derby Bar and Grill, John Gunther. This guy never had mud in his face before, or any kind of dirt in his face, and was making just his second start of the year. He only started twice at 2, that one race in April, then he goes into the Preakness where the waters are much deeper, and you can see Exaggerator got the jump on him and kind of kicked a lot of mud back at him. You can see his head kind of come up like, what is going on? Still only got beat 4 lengths. Well-bred colt. He's in top hands of Todd Pletcher and John Velasquez. I got Stradivari on top of the horse. It's going to be a heavy, heavy favorite here. Exaggerator just missed to Nyquist in the first. Came back to win the Preakness by 3. He's your horse to beat in here, that's for sure. He's a Curlin. He should get the distance. I got Exaggerator in the second spot. And I went to Sudden Breaking News, kind of a wise guy horse in the third spot. He does have the highest Tomlinson numbers for the distance. He's a mine shaft. He's got a nice kick. Won the Southwest in impressive fashion back in February. Came back with a good second in the Arkansas Derby. Closes a lot of ground. And I could see him. He's going to like that long lane. He's going to have a lot of room to move. And I like the move to Mike Smith, Hall of Fame jockey. I went 5, 11, and 4 in the Belmont.
I agree with the 5 Stradivari, not just because of the home. We always want our local connections to do well in any major Grade 1 race. But I mean, John Gunther, bred and owns, still retains part of Stradivari. Of course, he owns the mare Bending Strings. And this horse looked great. I thought this horse ran so good at Pimlico. Yeah. And for a Grade 1 race, this horse coming from first condition into a Grade 1 race.
And his only race
they
of
were
the
way
year,
more seasoned
right?
and off track. I mean, this horse looks like it will run all day. I think he's going to get the lead. He's going to play catch me if you can. There's no speed in this race. Stradivari gets the lead. And I think
we saw it last year
wins
with
the
American
money.
Pharaoh, got on the lead, and never looked back.
Yeah, the 11 Exaggerator, you got to respect him. He's poorly drawn out in gate 11. It's only a short little run to the first turn at Belmont. They only take about 10 jumps, and they're on the turn. And sometimes you can lose position, and a mile and a half isn't for every horse. And I mean, at 1-2 or 3-5, whatever he's going to be, I'm gonna try and beat him. I like Stradivari, and I put the other Todd Pletcher runner. Of course, Todd trains Stradivari. The 2 Destin, I thought this horse was worth a look as well. Had a tough run in the Kentucky Derby, skipped the Preakness. Could be more of a factor. He's a Giant's Causeway. Lots of distance in the pedigree, nicely drawn in gate 2 as well. Another one that's worked. Javier Castellano. A lot of positives with Destin. He might be worth, forgiving him for his, subpar effort with some excuses in the Kentucky Derby. Next up on screen, a quick recap of our Belmont picks. There's mine, 5, 11, and 2 for me in the 2016 Belmont.
And for me, I agree with Mike. Number 5, Stradivari over the 11, Exaggerator. And I went with the 4, Closing, Sudden Breaking News in the third spot.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to Handicappers Corner. Look forward to seeing everyone next time. Don't forget, our next live card, Sunday, June the 12th. We do have 8 races on the Sunday program starting at 1:50. On behalf of Drew, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill.